Hi guys, how you doing? You'll have to excuse me. I've just come back from walking Max and it was peeing down with rain. My trousers are soaking wet, they're absolutely soaked. I wore my coat and that's soaked and hanging up to dry. I'm absolutely frozen and I'm dripping wet. I did not know it was raining outside, otherwise I would have taken an umbrella. Right. Not that I actually know where I've actually put my umbrella, to be fair. Even though it's a big umbrella, I've stuffed it somewhere because that's what I'm like. I'm messy. So, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hope everyone has had a great day today. Alexa, what's the time, please?
It's 7:13 p.m.
So it's 7:13 p.m. A very, very quick, swift walk with Max because the rain was icy cold when it hit my face. And I was soaked to the skin. And I don't want to stay out and get any more wetter than I was already. So I left at 10 to 7 and I got back about 10 past ish. So, what's gone on? Right, so I live by myself and I do everything myself. So I have been tidying up my living room come kitchen because this part of my flat is like a studio flat. I've got the living room combined with the kitchen. So we've got a gas engineer coming out Monday to my flat and I wanted to just tidy it up around the meter box. Tidy the cats and dogs bits and pieces. So I've been tidying up most of the day, washing and mopping the floor, just dusting and rearranging things and trying to make myself feel a bit better because when you're depressed the last thing you need to see is a load of clutter. So we're decluttering. So I was just, I had the television on, I was looking at things on my phone. The buzzer went just after the guy got in upstairs. The buzzer went and it was a small package for me. I'm Crystal. It was this. Now, I know it was only £1 and it advertised a pet bowl or a dog bowl. And I thought that's good value for £1. And in the pound shops, you can get a bowl for £1 that is quite big. Well, you used to anyway. Anyway, I opened the bowl, yeah. I opened the package. I want to show you the size of the bowl. This is a pet, like, food water bowl. You won't be able to probably see how small it is, but it's quite small. It's minuscule. I've put a bit of water in it for Max. So this is a pet water bowl or food bowl. Okay. And this was the sticker on the bottom of the bowl. Nobby. The guy that delivered the package had a yellow fluorescent waistcoat on. And I knew it was just a pet bowl, so I wasn't in a hurry to go downstairs and get it. When I went downstairs to get my parcel, there was a big parcel on the floor, a big box. I took my parcel and I went up in the lift and I came into my flat. About 2 nights in a row when I've gone to walk the dog, there has been a fit. I don't know who chooses what goes on Talking Pictures TV. But it's about the second time that I've gone out and this week, and the film has been about suicide. This time it was a young lady that committed suicide, and I've watched that film before, by the way. That was on Talking Pictures TV about 6:30. I was watching it, and with references to killing yourself. That's the second time this week, the third or fourth time in a month that I have watched something before I've gone out to walk the dog with references to suicide in it. So who the fuck chooses what to put on the Talking Pictures television? Right, fortunately for me, I have been projecting negative energy into positive energy. I'm also bagging up my belongings, putting them in bags, because I can't wait to get the fuck out of this flat. I can't. So everything is now going into bags, and when I finally do get a place, everything will be packed up, my bits and pieces anyway. So that's what we're doing, turning negative energy into positive energy. All the same stuff is still going on. I've had no call from victim support counsellor that was supposed to come and, well, I don't know what they were exactly. They were supposed to be helping me. And that was my mum, Jennifer, on the sofa yesterday. That was my mum. It certainly wasn't me. When I went downstairs to the bin store this morning, there was a dirty brown ripped up sofa outside the bin store doors, and I had to really squash myself inside the doors to put my rubbish into the bin. When I came back off the field, the sofa had suddenly disappeared in half an hour. As you can see, my sofa, I've had the same sofa for the past 4 years. It's a turquoise bluey colour, aquamarine, whatever you call it. I've not had a change of sofa in 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I would like to. I would also like to have a washing machine and a decent bed, but these items nowadays are so unaffordable for people, aren't they? I mean, a washing machine nearly £300 unless you try and get a second hand one that conks out in 6 months. A bed between £200 and £300 for a double bed. A new sofa is going to set you back. I mean, the cheapest one, £150. So I've had the same sofa for 4 years. I have no washing machine, and I need a bed. So these are all expensive items. So we're going to try and just see what we could. I've got to pull myself together. I get in a rut living in this place because I don't like where I'm living. And I've gone through some traumatic experiences, especially recently. So we need to try and get ourselves back on track and sort things out and stop just ruminating, sitting down and letting people get to me when they don't give a fuck about me anyway. I mean, why do I bother getting upset over these fucking people that don't give a shit about me? I mean, honestly, why do I bother? I keep telling myself, pull yourself together. These people couldn't give a shit what you do. They don't care. They're just... It's like bullies at school. I let them get to me and it ruined my whole school life. But I was a kid. Now I'm an adult. Pull yourself together. So basically today I've just been tidying up. That's all I've been doing. I spoke to my mum this morning and I haven't heard from her at all, apart from she rang me this morning. I rang my mum up because I was worried about her when she was laid on the sofa when I was round with my mother yesterday. I was worried about her. So I rang her back and she sounded okay to me, but I haven't heard back since. I said that I'm going to keep an eye on you. I don't care what I go through. I'm still going to make sure she's okay. She is my mother after all. So whatever people people put me through, I love life. Love life. Love it. The amount of spiders that crawled out underneath these bags I'd kept for a long time. Big hairy spiders in the crevices where I was cleaning. Yeah, let's see if we can just... I am going to ring victim support again. There's no, you know, you say something to somebody, you expect them to keep their word. I'm not being toyed about with and played about with and discarded. You know, that's not happening. I'm not going to sit here, start crying. I'm going to fight back, and I mean it. So I've just gone out this evening in the pissing rain. Harvey Utilities parked by the Rochester Riverside office, as usual, as it is in the evening. That's about it, really. I think I caught people by surprise, and I didn't start to get the usual shit until I was turning round the corner to come home, and you get the cars reversing. But I managed to avoid most of the shit because it really was bad weather hitting my face, and it fucking hurt with the cold. So I had my beanie hat on, my hood over my head, and I couldn't see anything. I just wanted to get home. It was freezing. And I don't think any person's going to hang around and piss around in that weather. Let's put the radio on for 5 minutes. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Unlock exclusive features and content from LBC and even join the conversation.
Send a comment to LBC.
Just say, ask Global Player to link my account.
7:23, Shahid says the Conservatives' immigration policies will be totally counterproductive, and rather than make net gains will likely cost the UK tens of billions every year, as well as many jobs not getting filled. I foresee key services getting worse, higher taxes, further spending cuts, and the national debt increasing. Let's go to Hassan in Westminster. Hi, Hassan.
Hello, hi. Yes, I arrived in this country about 20 years ago for work. And I was here, I was given sort of indefinite leave to remain after living in the country for 4 years, then got my passport, and I've been, what I think, a reasonably good citizen, even though I'm a Republican and might not sort of feel very positively about the royal family, but I've followed the laws, etc., and I've been a productive member of society. I think to try and sort of make it tougher and tougher so that people have to do 10 years, so that they really, really mean it, etc., is just meanness. And I think this is the Badenoch trying to fend off a challenge from reform rather than anything effective. Because I also was listening to Sundar, and the kind of stuff he was talking about that could bring down immigration would be quite damaging to our society. I mean, if we don't have care workers, if we don't have NHS doctors, that's not a good place to be in.
No, I don't think anyone would say that would be. I'm not sure that it's those people that this policy is particularly aimed at, though. But do you not think it should be quite difficult to get British citizenship? It should be something that should be valued. And if you just sort of have a system where essentially anybody can really get it after a few years, it devalues it.
No, it's not a few years. It's now 6 years, which I think is quite a long period of time, and sort of just jumping it to 10 years, I think is unnecessary. And I think one of your contributors was saying that we will be going to the high end of the range. I mean, I also lived in Dubai for a while, and they have an absolutely terrible system where you can live your entire life there, but still be chucked out the minute you retire, which is really not sort of civilized.
No, indeed not. Hassan, thank you very much. Michael says, the Tories are terrified of Farage and whichever party he runs this week. Ha ha. The silent majority do not have this blame everything on foreigners mentality, and that is why Farage has 5 MPs and the Tories got chucked out. Minesh is in Southall. Hello, Minesh.
Oh, hi there. Good evening. Yeah, all these intentions are very good and all at the proposition stage. But when it comes to actually exercising them and expediting them, it becomes a huge issue until we deal with the elephant in the room, which is the Human Rights Act. Because I don't know if you heard, I've got on my news feed today that a lady from Pakistan, her student visa expired in 2004, and she paid the system and whatever, and stayed here. And then we ended up paying £100,000 compensation to her because she suddenly claimed human rights that she's a Christian and she can't send back to Pakistan. So if every step we make, the Human Rights Act is going to prevent us from sending people back, where do we stand?
So you're saying she's been here since 2004?
I believe, you can fact check it, I think her visa expired in 2004, and since then, she's been here. It was in the news this morning on my feed. And the Home Office appealed the decision, but they lost. And then they had to pay 100,000 compensation to her.
You see, that, in a way, is, I suppose, why the Conservatives think that they're onto something here. Because to any normal member of society, that is outrageous, that somebody who hasn't abided by the rules, who's been here for 20 years illegally, should then walk away with £100,000 of taxpayers' money. I mean, it's outrageous, isn't it?
It certainly is. And that's what I'm afraid of. Whatever laws you propose, I think until we tackle the human rights decision, which is the human rights for who? The one person, the immigrant that's trying to stay here, or the human rights of the British public to have to live here and deal with these immigration issues? Where are the human rights of the British people?
Well, I think you're probably right in saying that there'll be many people phoning in who agree with you, and I agree with you. I think people do have to show that they've abided by the rules, that they understand British values, that they can speak English. I think there was a time when you could become a British citizen without any of those prerequisites, which I don't think many people would think that was the right way to go. Manesh, thank you. Andrew says, my wife is going through the immigration process. We follow all the rules. It already takes 10 years for definite leave to remain in the UK. 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 5 years of temporary, plus English language proficiency tests and a life in the UK test. Try it. I did it and failed as a UK MSc graduate. And she needs to pay for using the NHS until such time as she gets the indefinite leave to remain. Charlie is in Goole. Hello, Charlie.
Hey, mate. How are you doing?
All right, thank you. What would you like to say?
I think it's hard enough. And the thing is as well, you're going to get tit for tat from other countries. If you make it hard for people to come into you, it's hard for people to leave and go there. So I think it's duly negative. I did emigrate to Australia, and that was hard enough and expensive enough. And the amount of tests they put you through is ridiculous. And that was only 2 years because it was a colony. Well, it was things like an AIDS test. I mean, it was a while ago, and there was things like a chest X-ray to make sure you didn't have TB. All sorts of things. Hearing tests to make sure you could hear.
Why are those things bad?
I'm just saying it's a hurdle to get over, and why do you need them? I can understand the TB thing. But age is a bit backwards, you know?
Well, I don't know the specific circumstances of that, but I think each country has their own methods of doing it. We can all think what's right and what's wrong, but in the end, you want something where people go into this country, if they want to become British citizens, it should be a fairly strenuous process. There should be all sorts of tests. Now, whether they should be medical or knowledge tests, well, we can all debate that. But I think there is a general perception in society, however right or wrong it might be, that in recent decades, it has been too easy to get indefinite leave to remain or become a British citizen. And so the Conservatives have decided to launch this policy paper today to try and tighten things up. But I wonder whether people are going to trust them on it, as I say, given their record in government.
Yeah, I think from what I've seen, there's like a language test. There's history of England. I mean, everything. I mean,
that didn't used to be the case. I mean, before David Blunkett, though, I don't think there was any need to prove that you could speak English to become a British citizen, which I just think is lunacy. Now that did change, as I say, under the last Labour government, and I think these tests have been slightly strengthened already in the last few years. But the Conservatives want to go a bit further. Charlie, thank you very much indeed. We'll come back to your calls in a moment, but we'll also find more about the interest rate cut, which was announced today by the Bank of England. It's 7:32 on LBC News Headlines with Amelia Cox.
The Governor of the Bank of England hopes more interest rates are coming, but has warned an uncertain world could drive up inflation. The base rate has been reduced to 4.5% from 4.75%. Israel's military has been ordered to prepare a plan for a large number of Palestinians leaving Gaza. The directive comes just over a day after Donald Trump suggested the US could take over the territory, turning it into a Riviera. And a state of emergency has been declared on Santorini following hundreds of undersea earthquakes. Emergency services, including fire departments, police and Coast Guard, have been mobilised. LBC weather, dry, mostly clear for much of the UK tonight. Some showers in the far southeast and across the Channel Islands, a low of -3 degrees.
This is LBC. Get extra.
Right, guys, I'm gonna go now. I just want to get dry and warm. See you later.